I have frightening royal news for England. Will no longer be possible for me to devote so much time and energy to my favorite charities and causes. The royal family knows how to control their emotions, but they still snap. A recent event shook Prince William. Not a public incident or political crisis. It was far more personal, related to his father, King Charles. A final plea from Princess and stung William more than expected, sources claim. People want to know what was said and why it was so strong. Was this the moment the heir's life changed? Watch Prince William's emotional breakdown, the king's final wish, and King Charles's illness's consequences. After King Charles publicly announced his cancer diagnosis in early 2024, everything changed quickly. Many viewers saw it as a turning point for the monarchy. Behind palace doors, it may have forced conversations the public will never hear. The emotional burden on Prince William has only increased since that day, as we'll show you. Buckingham Palace announced it. A malignancy was found after a regular hospital surgery for a benign enlarged prostate. They didn't identify which type, but they said the king had started regular therapy and would be taking a break from public duties. Unspoken words were just as strong. The monarchy's stability was threatened by the king's sickness. The diagnosis came after Charles had ruled for a year. After decades of preparation, his rule began at 73. He was sidelined within months. As weeks passed, royal watchers noted William frequently taking on more. He represented the crown at high-profile events and gave statements normally given by the king. Even though the palace sought to maintain calm, the tone changed. Charles wasn't wholly absent, but his adventures were infrequent. He smiled and waved to onlookers at Windsor Castle's St. George's Chapel Easter service. But people observed he appeared slimmer and exhausted. Each public appearance looked meticulously organized to persuade the audience that he was still holding on. Due to the diagnosis, important future decisions had to be taken sooner than intended. In times like this, the king may turn to his closest allies. Charles is thought to have secret conversations with Princess and, however, the palace never confirms this. Many are unaware of their decades-long relationship. One of the family's few honest communicators, she speaks to him frankly. A final, impassioned request from the king to someone he trusts would likely come during this time. A human, not a royal will or legal document. If William heard that request, especially if it added weight or disclosed a fact he wasn't expecting, it may shake him to the core. The system surrounding Charles adjusts to stay strong while holding back the full weight of what's to come. Recent news shows that the king's therapy continues. However, the ramifications are now here, and reports indicate that the son is feeling them most as he now carries more than he intended. Princess Anne, famed for her calmness, took her place as Prince William took the stage. After the king's health was revealed, Princess Anne's itinerary filled up. She became more prominent as the hardest-working royal year after year. Did not bring attention to herself when visiting regiments, abroad engagements, or representing the crown at formal ceremonies. It was usual service. The feeling was different this time. Her name appeared more often beside state tasks traditionally performed by the monarch or Prince of Wales. People noticed that if Charles couldn't be there and William was busy with family, and was often trusted to step in. Princess Anne has never liked attention. She gives few interviews and answers briefly and practically. Her crown loyalty is complete, yet not as emotional as others. Instead, she serves with discipline and obligation instilled by her parents, notably Prince Philip. Many royal watchers feel she inherited Philip's straightforwardness more than anyone else. Anne's influence behind the scenes is crucial throughout this time, and speaks clearly in family talks and challenges ideas that don't make sense. This honesty is crucial when the monarchy faces actual uncertainty, and may have participated in informal conversations about roles, responsibilities, and public messaging. She stepped up during transitions before. When Queen Elizabeth II lost her father, King George VI, the royal family relied on her close friends, and always carried part of Elizabeth's children's weight as they grew older. Prince Philip's coffin was carried and placed on that Land Rover for his 2021 funeral. Just watch these scenes. And showed strength by walking behind Charles's casket without speaking. After the Queen died in 2022 and followed her coffin through Scotland. Personal dedication and unwavering duty. Princess Anne has been one of Charles's few advisors during his sickness. Could the king have given her something for William? Watch to find out. Prince William may appear to have always been ready to balance royal duty with familial pain. Yes, in some ways. He grew up knowing he'd be king. However, no one can prepare for what happens when the future arrives faster than expected and both parents suffer in real time. Catherine's diagnosis hit the family just as Charles's illness was settling in. The Princess of Wales, 6, confirms she is undergoing cancer treatment. Her own message is here. After weeks of public absence and rising worry, the Princess of Wales made a video message in March 2024 announcing her cancer treatment. She spoke calmly but showed the family's dire situation. Now William wasn't only covering for the king. He was a full-time husband and father helping his wife through an unplanned event. After Catherine's announcement, he stopped working. Public events were canceled. Arrivals were late. Weeks passed without updates. When he returned, witnesses saw William smile and shake hands at a food distribution charity event. Yet cameras recorded him looking distant and even preoccupied. Body language experts noted his tight posture and lack of eye contact. Though subtle, the emotional toll was evident. He thanked the people for their support and said Catherine's illness was far from over. Few could understand carrying that emotional weight while increasingly helping a parent whose health was precarious. Under the surface, this strain isn't always visible. William is now seen as a future king and a man attempting to combine family pain and royal duty whenever he appears on TV. Indeed, more people are seeing him as the one who may have to seize the throne sooner. Exceeds expectations. Now he has little room to breathe. His father's condition is being treated. His wife is healing. His 3 kids need him more than ever. However, the public, press, and even his own institution expect him to continue, smile, and lead. The question isn't whether William is next. How much time he has to grieve, heal, or prepare. The relationship between King Charles and Princess Anne has developed over decades, primarily in private. They were born 2 years apart, raised together under Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, and raised in Buckingham Palace's controlled world. Charles and Anne formed a unique knowledge of each other based on shared experience rather than sentimentality in a household that generally kept emotion private. The contrast was evident from their first public duties. Charles was the successor to the throne and was the burden-free spare, but with purpose. She swiftly established her own path, emphasizing labor, discipline, and obligation. The Queen's eldest children, Charles and Anne, were raised under rigorous royal standards and little privacy. Unlike their younger siblings, Andrew and Edward, they kept their early friendship as they got older. Anne's non-lineal succession may have enhanced their connection. Charles realized she had nothing to prove. One of the few persons he could freely speak to when under pressure, the public, or even the palace. Their roles differed, but their institution loyalty was the same. That developed trust. Some incidents over the years show how much Charles relies on and during tough times, and kept the family focused on duty during his divorce, press conflicts, and monarchy changes. While she doesn't meddle, she won't back down when necessary. Though few see it, those attributes have made her one of Charles's closest allies behind the scenes. Royal successions have often been affected by sibling ties. Elizabeth II and Margaret had a notoriously complicated relationship. Despite their differences, they were close. Early in her reign, Elizabeth relied on Margaret's social instincts and loyalty. It repeats in numerous forms. Due to duty and blood, the heir and brother stand together through change. Since Charles is fighting cancer and the crown is growing heavier each day, many wonder what is spoken behind palace doors. A final request, a personal instruction or message from the king could be practical, such as asking and to help guide William, support Charles when he can't, steady the family if public pressure threatens to overwhelm them, or ensure the monarchy's future remains united, and has the authority, trust, and emotional distance for a role. As an unseen link between the present and the future, not as a king. The royal family does much without microphones, but the patterns are there for those who watch. Absence frequently speaks louder than words in public. The recent absence of King Charles and Princess Catherine from royal activities has created a clear gap. That space is almost automatically filled by Prince William. Commentators noted William's demeanor at D-Day commemorations and solitary appearances at official ceremonies. His tone was stiff and his posture heavy, like a ruler. Even headlines changed to future king in action or serving as head of state in all but name. No official titles altered. Although Charles is king, William is already being portrayed as the unifier. Those who followed the royal family during earlier transitions will feel this hidden shift. When Queen Elizabeth II lost her father and became queen at 25, the public sensed the inevitable and looked at her differently before any crown touched her head. In her later years, Charles took over major responsibilities while she reigned. This pattern appears to be repeating. The crown travels through official rituals and through people's eyes slowly, emotionally, and metaphorically. Before it's genuine, how long can the royal family pretend this isn't a transition if William is already there, albeit unofficially? The royals' unclear future with Camilla. Some have noted Queen Camilla's silence in recent months. Camilla has been silent while King Charles battles illness and the royal household adjusts. She spoke and acted calmly. She's kept her cool while doing public tasks. Beyond her smiles and simple appearances, her strength shines. Many recall how Queen Elizabeth II handled crisis with presence, not show. As you know, Camilla's royal status is complicated. She briefly became queen consort after Elizabeth's death, but she wasn't in the line of succession. Her mission is to support the king, not shape his successor. Even when the queen is absent and the heir is under pressure, Camilla sits in the middle. She's close enough to detect flaws yet can't lead publicly. That shifts her duty from ceremony to emotional balance behind royal walls. She's Charles's closest confidant after Princess Anne. Their peculiar kinship comes from decades of shared existence, scandal, separation, and public defiance. Leans on her. Camilla may be watching, listening, and handling things others don't see. Notably, any future conflict between Princess Anne and Prince William. Anne and William are two duty-driven people from different generations who don't always perceive the world the same way. Camilla may be one of the few people with the personal capital to maintain order during royal transfers, public messaging, or family matters. Queen Elizabeth played it subtly. She rarely intervened, but her presence calmed tempers. Her silence, timing, and authority kept the family together through many storms. Now that emotional anchor is gone, William is now considered the emotional leader of a broken family. Most cannot imagine such strain. It's about taking on the emotional burdens of a dynasty grieving its matriarch, adapting to its aged monarch, and unsure of its future. Princess Anne never speaks for attention, but when she does, people listen, especially over the monarchy's future. She made waves in 2023 by opposing rapid royal family dieting in a rare interview. Her message was that efficiency should not compromise experience and service, and has always advocated hands-on learning. She's performed more royal engagements than anybody else, often quietly. To her, monarchy means showing up, working, and honoring tradition. She doesn't like the idea of updating the institution, especially by shrinking it. Prince William, however, has shown he's open to reform. He chooses his public appearances carefully to represent the monarchy. A leaner, more focused royal entourage matches his vision of a less ceremonial future. Personable and possibly media-savvy. Here may be their conflict. Values consistency. William believes the bench of royals who serve without headlines must reform to maintain popular support. They both have valid points, but their perspectives are influenced by distinct eras and pressures. Charles might make his final request here between them. Request to unite the monarchy despite differing future ideas. Call for balance, tradition without stagnation, reform without division. Can they reach a compromise before the crown changes hands if their ideas are in conflict? Prince Harry's absence overshadows Prince William's current issues. Unhealed emotional fracture. The king is ill and the Princess of Wales has cancer, so William is managing it all without the one person who used to be by his side through every storm. Nobody has said Harry will return, even temporarily. He visited the UK briefly earlier this year, but accounts vary on whether he met the king. News like that doesn't erase years. However, it reminds William how much has changed. His brother, who helped him carry emotional weight, is now observing from another continent. For his part, King Charles has sought reconciliation. At various times, palace sources have indicated the king wants for peace in his lifetime, but he has likely encountered silence or resistance. Princess Anne may have advised Charles to defend the monarchy or encouraged a healing route in those secret chats. Duty has always come first for Anne. She prioritizes the institution over personal feelings. The emotional toll of Harry's absence goes beyond family. It also affects William's abilities. With fewer senior royals working and fewer trustworthy supporters, William's responsibility is harder. He must replace the emotional gaps left by his mother, brother, and, in some ways, his wife as she recovers. This leads us to the end of one royal era and the uncertain start of another. Elizabeth. More than a monarch died when the second died. A generation that bonded the family ended. Charles's arrival was predicted, but his health has cast doubt on a smooth handover. Though unstable, the monarchy persists. Confidence fell. Family bonds are weakening. William is emotionally charged in the next phase. The visage everyone sees hides a man with more than anyone knows. He looks calm. He arrives. He speaks gently. But beneath it all are the signs. Cancelled events, protracted absences, and unnamed grief. He's keeping the monarchy together piece by piece, but his gait and gaze in interviews make it impossible to believe he's not silently collapsing inside. Maybe that's how people feel. A sluggish, hidden decline. A time when the next monarch is being fashioned by loss, strain, and the aching silence of everything that's changed, not ceremony. What did Princess and tell the monarch in those private moments? Could it influence all Prince William must carry from here? We want to hear your comments. To see more, like, share, and subscribe. Additionally, click the video below. You'll like